Hey YouTube, Mr. Black Mamba 305 here with you again. And today we're going to dive into another video, guys, of firearm safety awareness. As you guys know, I'm a 2A channel, guys, and I do everything 2A. Not only 2A, I love guns, I love dogs, I love trucks, I love politics. And if that's what you're into, then you're in the right place. So guys, if you like this video today, guys, go ahead, like, subscribe, share the video, and share it with your friends if you think it can help them out. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the last video I did was on a road rage where an 11-year-old lost his life due to road rage between his father and another gentleman driving another truck. Today, the reason why I'm making this video one is not only because when you purchase a firearm, it's not just purchasing that firearm, buying some bullets and putting it in your purse or in your nightstand or driving it within your car or concealed carrying it. There's a lot that goes on with owning a firearm. The responsibility of knowing how to shoot, when to shoot, where to shoot, and it takes training, it takes time, it takes money. So if you're gonna get into owning a firearm, please do your research. There's a lot that goes behind it. Just standing and shooting at a paper target at a range is sometimes not enough. You have to do some kind of tactical training, moving, being able to pull the firearm out of line of sight where you don't want to shoot it. If there's somebody in the way where you know that, hey, if I have this thing waving around, I might accidentally, point to that person. You want to be able to know your situational awareness when you have your firearm, when to look around, when to not just focus in on your target, but focus on what's going on behind you, as with this situation. So it's baffles me how these two these two youth think, like, literally thought it was a good idea to actually attack a police officer. So let's just watch a video and then I'll give my take on it.
This unbelievable video will slow it down to show you just how bold these suspects are. The young man without a shirt goes for the uniformed Detroit police officer's gun on his right side, gets it. Meanwhile, his accomplice in the Adidas pants pulls a gun, pointing it at the officer. There's a struggle. The officer wrestles his duty weapon, a 9mm, back from the suspect. The two run off. The officer does not shoot at them. This is just a ridiculous crime. Detroit Police Commander Arnold Williams says it happened Saturday evening at the BP station near the Southfield and Joy Road. There's nothing to indicate that this officer was off duty heading into work was targeted specifically. Investigators say it was all about getting the gun. There's no way I can explain the mindset of someone who would do something like that. But the one thing I can explain is if they would do that to a uniformed police officer, can you imagine what they would do to a regular citizen? Investigators have identified both suspects. They've executed 2 search warrants at their homes and are in contact with their parents. But still, as of Monday afternoon, they're not in police custody. If it's any family members that are sheltering them or have any information, encourage them to come in. And we want them to turn themselves in.
All right, so um, so again, it baffles me that two men would see a police officer off duty. Well, not necessarily, they don't know if he's off duty or not. He's in uniform and decides to grab the gun. Like, who in their right mind, you're gonna see a police officer and say, "Hey, this is a good time to try to rob somebody. Let me rob this police officer." It makes no sense to me. Even you can tell, the sergeant is saying, like that's so brazen. The takeaway I want, if you don't watch anything else for the rest of this video, is the takeaway is if the bad listen, good guys, we follow the rules, right? Bad guys don't. The bad guys, they can ban firearms, they can do all this other stuff, tell you not to carry, more than 10 rounds in a magazine, like in New York and California. They can tell you can't, conceal carry a weapon. Like, where, I don't know where in the United States they would do something like that, but the bad guys don't care. They're gonna carry automatic weapons. They don't care if it's illegal or not. They're gonna open carry if they feel like it. I see so many thugs just walk around and you can tell that they have a firearm. They're printing, and so we're gonna talk about even printing in a little bit. So guys, the takeaway I want you guys to have from this is if they're willing, like the sergeant said, if they're willing to do that to a police officer, what are they willing to do to you? Like I said, guys, you have a responsibility as a firearm holder to teach yourself or take training to get situational awareness, right? Yes, that police officer, he has probably years of training And to him, he's in his mind, he's like, no, these guys would never even think of it, but they did. And so imagine if you're a firearm holder, right, and you don't do the proper training, take the proper courses. First of all, you should know that if you have a firearm, just because you can conceal carry it, just because you've concealed carried that weapon and it's printing, don't mean it's concealed. It's printing. Somebody can see that you have a firearm. And what that does is it tells everybody, hey, in a situation, if I'm supposed to get in something with this guy, he has a firearm. It's going to change the way how they do things, change the way how they think. They might be more aggressive, they might be less aggressive, but they could lead to the side where they're more aggressive with you. Because if they also have a firearm, they can see that you have a firearm, you're printing, they don't want you to get the drop on them, then they might pick up their firearm first, right? Since you're, so bold to let your firearm print. I see guys wearing tight shirt like this, and you can see that there's a firearm in their waist. Like, what are you doing? That is a thing. You should not be printing when you can still carry a firearm. You can carry it in a satchel, you can carry it on your person, wear a bigger shirt, but you cannot print. If you print in a lot of states, you can lose your concealed carry permit. You can lose the ability to actually carry a firearm. So be aware of that, guys. Just because you bought a gun and you bought a couple rounds, you went to the range maybe once or twice, don't mean that you are ready to take on people who wants to take it from you. Now if they're taking this away from trying to take it away from a police officer, what are they going to do with a woman that's sprinting? What are they going to do with a little guy that weighs 130 pounds that's sprinting? What are they going to do? What are they going to do if it's someone there with their child? So can you imagine if they had actually, the guy without the shirt had actually gotten that firearm? What would he have done? Would he have killed a police officer? Would he have ran out the door? We don't know. That could have ended in tragedy. That could have ended in the death of the police officer. The police officer could have easily retained his firearm when he wrestled it back from the guy, and he could have actually shot at these two guys. They could have actually lost their lives. So they came out of it lucky. The police officer came out of it lucky. But when you own a firearm, guys, you have a responsibility to keep it safe, to keep it on your person, to train with it. If you are going to use a firearm, don't just take it out and say, okay, whatever happens. You should have the proper training to say, hey, I need to have situational awareness. Because a lot of times when you're in a certain situation, these two guys, maybe you can see there was three guys in the video, right? At the beginning of the video, you see there's three guys, right? And there it is.
XR. The young man without
The
a
tall
shirt
guy
goes for
here,
the uniformed
he's
Detroit
watching,
police officer's
but
gun
he's
on
like,
his
I'm out of
right.
here. He's watching, but he's saying, I'm out of there. I don't have no part of this. He disappeared. But then look at this guy right here, right? In between the third guy that was here and his friend right here. He was just right here. So you can't really tell if they're all three of them are together or if this guy and this guy are the only ones here. Now we find out that, the guy in the Adidas pants is with his boy. But at the beginning, you don't even know if they're together. So you might think that you're taking on one person and you're taking on two or three or four because they might be a group. There could be people behind here. That's why we talk about situational awareness, guys. Be aware of something. When I walk into any kind of buildings, whether it be a church, I sit I try to sit on a corner. I try to sit by the door. I try to see where there's an easy exit to go. I try to sit where I can see what's going on. So if I have to react in a certain way to save my family or get my family away from that, or my girlfriend or my wife or whoever the case might be, if I'm in a situation, I can quickly react and get myself away because I'm not trying to take on any kind of situation with my family there. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to de-escalate and move or just get away from the scene altogether and protect my family. So you have to have that situational awareness. Like when you have a gun, if you ever get into a situation where you do have to pull your gun, you might be taking on multiple people. What are you going to do when multiple people have firearms? Think about that, guys. Just getting a gun, buying a gun, going to the range, shooting once or twice at some still target is not enough. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of extra training. And we see here where,
Gets it. While his accomplice in the Adidas pants pulls a gun, pointing
and
it
they're
at the
struggling.
officer.
Look,
There's a
he
struggle. The
tosses the
officer
officer
wrestles his
over.
duty weapon
Officer goes
creating
back.
the suspect. The two run off. The officer does not shoot at them.
Another thing, guys, if you carry a firearm, you need to be physically fit. If you get into a situation, sometimes you might take that firearm out and you might not even get to use it. You get into some kind of close quarter situation with someone, right? And if you don't have the training out to, okay, I don't have the firearm. Now what do I do? I carry a concealed knife also. I carry a karambit, which is kind of like a fighting knife. If you guys know what a karambit is, you can use that knife to kind of manipulate. If you ever get in a certain situation with multiple attackers and you have that knife, you can really defend yourself pretty well. But if you don't have that training, then you're not going to know what to do. You're just going to get overpowered. Now you can see in the video one at a time where, it seemed like his partner takes out the gun,
gun
takes out a
pointing
gun
at
of his
the
own,
officer, and
points it at the
presumably
officer, but then he's
his duty weapon and
so we see where
the suspect.
so obviously we see where his boy took out his gun ready to defend his friend, right? And what does he do? He points it at the officer because he's ready to put that officer down. And you can tell that gun is a Taurus. It's a cheap gun and a lot of people have it. It looks like a Taurus if you know anything about firearms. So he takes out his gun and he's coming with evil in his eyes to go take out, the police officer. He pointed at the police officer, but because of the fighting going on, he probably couldn't get a clean shot and didn't want to shoot his boy. So he kind of like, hey, let me back off. So with the officers fighting, so it's not just civilians who need to be aware. It's police officers. Even I know that there's a lot of police officers out there. I know for a fact there's a lot of police officers out there who they get time to go to the range and do training and do tactical stuff, and a lot of them don't go to the range unless it's mandatory. They don't do the tactical training. You know what I mean? They think that, okay, I'm a police officer, maybe I'm never going to get attacked like that. It's once in a blue moon that I might have to take out my gun and doing one of those California Hollywood type shootout. Yeah, it can happen any day. Whether you're a police officer, you're a civilian, you're a pastor, you're a preacher, you do have to have situational awareness, because a lot of these criminals, they don't care who you are, and this video clearly shows that. If these two guys, this guy just looks like a psycho. Look at his face. He's not stressed whatsoever. You can tell that he's done stuff like this. The way how he reacts into that situation, they've I'm not gonna lie, man. They probably have bodies on those firearms, or on them shoes. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, I hate to make an assumption, but look how chill he is. Look how quickly he reacted by taking out a firearm. He didn't go and try to pull his friend off of the police officer. Me, if I was my friend and I saw my friend doing something I'm like, yo, I'm grabbing that person, choking him out, like, yo, what are you doing? Like, stop. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, don't do that around me. You can see that third guy that was here. He took off. He's like, I don't want no part of this. You know what I mean? He took off, and criminals are, these people are leeches, man. They're opportunists. They will take advantage of you. And when it's time to really get busy and for you to start shooting back, this is what they're going to do. They're going to run. They're not going to stand up and face you and go back and forth. You see, they try to take his firearm from him when he was paying. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm telling I was a correctional captain in the prison for a while. And I'm telling you, when they come into prison, they are, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, but guys, just to have situational awareness, man. If you do own a firearm, you have a responsibility to train with that firearm. Even if you just do a little bit of training, watch some videos, think about what I said, situational awareness. Even if you know you have a gun, if you have to take that firearm out, it doesn't mean you have, a tunnel vision. You need to be looking around, checking your surroundings, looking behind you while still keep focusing on what you're doing. Even the person that's in front of you, you might not see a firearm on them. They might have a firearm behind them and they're just waiting for you to look away. So you have to keep your eyes focused on your target, and then you have to have that situational awareness. Who's around me? Where I'm at? Where are my exits? What's next to me? What can I use to hide behind? How can I get out of this situation? Who's with that person? Who did he come in with? When I go into any place, I've already surveyed the place before I even got there. I know where everybody is. Even if I don't know exactly where, I have a pretty good idea. Hey, there's two guys behind me to my left. There's a guy directly behind me. Even when I go to convenience store like this, I don't like when people stand directly behind me. And some of them, they be coming right upon you, like breathing down your neck. You know what I mean? So guys, that's gonna be the end of the video for me today, guys. Hope you guys got something out of this video. If you guys did, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share the video with your family and friends if you think it can help them. And guys, just go ahead, give me a subscription, man. Put some likes on this video so I can get into rotation, so I can start making more videos like this. Mr. Black Mamba 305 signing out, family. Thank you.